weeks of not posting, I really thought that I would post something like 2 weeks ago because I went on a little trip. And as a matter of fact, I'm still am on the trip technically. It's been amazing. But with the luck that I have, I fell sick, properly sick. So I went to the south of France, to the city that I kind of want to say that I basically grew up there, because there are two stages of your life. The first one, where you grow up as a kid, like basically in your hometown where you were born, with your closest family, you go to school, you just learn things about life, like basic things. And then there's the next stage of your life where you grow up as an adult. You really understand what your personality is like, what your worldview is like, what you want for yourself. And actually, I'd say both of them are just as long. So this is the south of France, at that city. This is where I grew up as an adult. This is where I started to get to know myself and understand who and what and why. And I haven't been there since, I think it was before COVID, so I suppose like 2019 something. And I usually go a little bit more often. I mean, I obviously don't live there anymore, I'm in Paris. And I was sad, but so many things happened to me for the past years. I just couldn't go. That was impossible for many reasons. And I finally did, and I saw my adoptive family. This is what I call them, because they're not my biological family, but they basically adopted me when I was just 18, and I spent 3 years with them, living side by side daily. They helped me with so much, because this was the first place where I came when I just simply came to France, to the south of France, to the city called Perpignan. And I was so lucky to find this accommodation. I don't even remember how I did it. I just somehow looked it up online and got it. And before that, I never ever visited France, so it was my completely like first experience. So lucky me with them. They just helped me so much on so many levels. I would be lost without them. They took me everywhere. They fed me, they taught me things, they helped me with my French at the beginning, because it's not my first language. So that was amazing to see them. And they also, obviously not getting any younger. How did I fall sick? Well, that's an easy one. In this region of France, it is incredibly windy. When I say incredibly, just believe me, wind gusts go up to like 100 kilometers per hour. And don't ask me miles. I don't understand miles. It just doesn't make sense to me. So that's a lot. Let's just put it that way. And right after the first day of me being there, my God, that sun is so high. I felt sick immediately, straight away. How annoying. How motherfucking annoying, knowing that I was supposed to go to Barcelona after that, enjoy myself, have the time of my life. But no, life had other plans, as it always has for me. And that's the reason why I couldn't post anything. I was so sick. I was sick to a point where I was dizzy. I was seeing everything blurry. I had sore throat. I had fever. Luckily, I started my medication straight away. Simple things like paracetamol, cough syrup, cough spray. That was actually very helpful. Straight for 5 years, damn, 4 days, and I was back on. So I did film cute things for my trips, and my trip was actually only supposed to last for like a week or something. But guess what? Second week going strong, and I have absolutely no regrets about it. I was so tired of Paris. I hadn't been out of Paris since, I should say, like August 2023. So it's been quite a while that I haven't traveled a lot, seen anything. And even if you like the city you live in, when you stay there for too long, at one point you just can't handle it anymore, especially in winter, especially in Paris. It's so gloomy, it's so depressing. No. So I had to fight against my cold, because I was in Barcelona. The city is just 2 hours away from Barcelona by car or by train, any kind of transportation. And I knew that I don't go often to Barcelona. I wanted to enjoy my time. I'm on my fucking vacation. I'm not gonna stay home, even if I'm sick. I really don't care. So yeah, it kind of worked. It kind of worked out at the end. I'm just so happy with it. And every time you go back to your hometown, well, once again, technically, this is not my hometown. This is where I grew up as an adult. It's always a weird feeling. You always feel weird. You always remember this younger version of yourself. You always wonder who she is because you're just so different now. You don't understand her. You barely remember her, but people who live there, this is the only version of you they do remember, and they maybe evenly do know. So you kind of have to prove yourself that, you know, I'm not there anymore. I'm new, I'm grown, I'm something else. I've learned other things about myself and the world. So I wouldn't say I was scared. I was maybe a little bit anxious. It went well. It went amazingly well. Spent a couple of days there, met some old friends, and I'm very, very grateful for it. I wish that fucking weather was better. I wish I wasn't sick. Whole another story. But you know what? It turned out beautifully. And I was also remembering my life when I lived there. It was beautiful if you look at it from the outside. I mean, it's the south of France. It's overall sunny. Summers are very warm. You have mountains, you have beaches. What else to ask for, right? But I don't remember myself being happy there somehow. And I was reflecting on why it's the case. And I think it's, well, first of all, I was like separated basically from my family straight at the age of 18. It is still early. You still don't know much about yourself to be just completely independent. And I couldn't go back home and see them as frequently as I wanted. It was just maybe once, occasionally twice a year. So I had to become this whole new version of myself, this whole new being, speaking a different language, living in a different culture. That was a lot of learning, maybe a little bit too much, excessively too much, all at the same time. I still managed it, but it was a lot of fighting. So thankfully, my adoptive family was there and they just got me through it. So yeah, I kind of feel guilty when I say that I didn't feel happy there, because as I said, the scenery is amazing. The setting is just cute, but I did make like maybe 1 or 2 long-term friends, even though we don't see each other frequently. I still know that they're there for me. I can count on them and vice versa. But most of the friends that I had was at the university, because that's where I went to college there, and they were mostly Erasmus students. So you know that you're not gonna probably even ever see them again, because they just come and go and you stay there. So I felt so completely alone, so completely by myself, with nobody else around to fully protect me, to fully understand who I am, my background, where I come from, to sometimes help through the language barrier, because that's also a very, very big one. So yeah, I saw all of those beautiful things, amazing villages, astonishingly beautiful architecture, great food, but I was not yet understanding whether this is who I am, whether this is where I belong, and that's what I want. And I kind of fought against it. A part of me wishes that I left for Paris earlier. The other part says, girl, you were not mentally prepared for that life, because as you can imagine, Paris is a huge city. It's a lot to handle. And I think I really needed that time of being, in my little cocoon town, just adjusting myself, learning a little bit more before just making this big move and saying like, okay, now I'm ready. Now I'm going, now I'm doing something with my life. But yeah, it is always funny to go back there. It is funny, it is sad. It is also sad, as I said, to see my adoptive family getting older. It is so sad to see my dog getting older, because when I was living there with them, they got a dog. It was already ages ago, so it was 2014. So the dog is now like 12 years old or something. He's basically, it is so sad to say, but he's basically like at the end of his life, more or less. And he looks so much older now, and he doesn't really play anymore like he used to. So not only do you rediscover this new version of yourself when you go there, you also see that, and that's actually terrifying, that mostly people there don't change, because they live in a small town. Life is pretty much the same all the time. Things don't change that much. Some people change, but overall the vibe is still exactly the same. And it's just so different from Paris, because Paris is a very fast-paced city. You have to change, you have to adapt, you have to be flexible. They don't. They are comfortable the way they are. And yeah, maybe you just feel how powerful you are becoming when you're there, how much you've learned how much you outgrown yourself and all these people. And it is always terrifying to see yourself grow and progress in life. People say that it's terrifying, like, to fail, to make mistakes. It is, but occasionally it is even more terrifying to become bigger, because you just realize how much power you hold in yourself, and it scares you to death. And you know that you cannot stop, you know that you need to keep going, and then you have more within yourself, and you just need to keep pushing. So yeah, I really experienced this feeling, even though it was a very short stay. It makes me so nostalgic. I don't miss those times, obviously. I feel like my life is just so much better now, so much more interesting, but you still kind of miss this older version of yourself. You still kind of look at it and, like, you really want to give it a big hug. You know how they always say, like, take care of your internal kid? Well, this is what I did. Maybe not the kid, my internal teenager, but still, I met her, I talked to her, I saw her, I'm like, girl, I see you, I recognize you, you are doing so much better, you're so much bigger now. That was amazing. I love that.